My work is about Mexico City and to rediscover the territory of one of the biggest cities in the world. Mexico City nowadays has 21 million people living there, so it's a huge city. It is growing very, very, very fast. Mexico City was built over a lake. 500 years before, it was a lake. So when the Spanish conquerors arrived to the city, they start to build and dry the lake. And over the lake there are volcanoes as well. So we have two problems. The city is very, very, very crowded. It's built over a lake with active volcanoes around the city. So when earthquakes like this happens, it's terrible because the soil is not good. The soil is like, it used to be a lake, now it's a muddy soil. So when it moves, the soil is not good and the buildings collapsed. We have one of the biggest volcanoes in the world, it's the Popocatépetl, is active, and the scientists think that it's gonna have a major explosion and a major eruption. So we have a lot of problems with the houses growing across the city. Uh, 1,000 years ago, a big civilization, the Aztecs, lives there and built a city there because they went, they were walking and they saw an eagle eating a snake. It's the national symbol of Mexico. There is in the flag, and they believe that was designed to build a city in the lake. So they find the eagle eating the snake. There it's a story, and they start to build there the city. So now the big problem is Mexico. We have a lot of corruption. We have a lot of problems of water. We have a lot of problems of energy, of pollution. So Mexico City is a very complicated area to live. For me, that I have been living there for more than 30 years, I have been working all around the city and flying all around the city to understand the city, and even persons like me that have been living there for that amount of time, I don't even know all the city. So I think there is nobody who really knows all the city because it's always growing. Mexico City is every day is changing.
Años del devastador terremoto que azotó a la Ciudad de México en 1985, a las 11 de la mañana se llevará a cabo un simulacro. En 5 entidades se suspenderá esta actividad: el Estado de México, Michoacán, Guerrero, Oaxaca y Puebla, afectados seriamente por el reciente sismo del pasado 7 de septiembre.
This whole project called Reconstructo kind of stems out and plays on the umbrella of Zuecca Project Space. It's based here in Ridotto, the first part. It's directed into the digital area, and it's cataloged under 3 categories: destruction, reconstruction, and perception. And then we have the next part in Zuecca Project Space, where we have Chinampa, the installation by TO Arquitectos, and the works of photographer Santiago Arau, which are called 19 de septiembre, Ciudad de México. Everything relates or comes up after the recent events we just had in Mexico in the past year in September, the 2 earthquakes that shook the whole city and kind of revolt and reactivated, and as a cataclysmic event, it just changed the mindset, it changed the way people have been working and living their lives in this city, understanding it as a vulnerable environment, as a city that was built underwater, close to a natural fissure of tectonic plates, and we're every day subordinated and vulnerable to this reaction. So after the earthquakes, there was a lot of involvement from the social community, architects, artists, which are just some of them participating in this exhibit, representing the whole community. It's projects that are related to the earthquake, to the reconstruction, the attention, the documentation, and the whole sense of it.
We have a selection of around 10 artists. Each of these artists was already dealing with work that looks at the city, ways of looking at the city. So in some cases, the earthquake made some of this work acquire a new kind of strength or a new kind of meaning. And some other artists basically responded literally to the earthquake. So we have an interesting mixture of projects like photography or books that talked about the city, but after the earthquake, we're looking at it in a different way, and that's what we're trying to showcase here. So try to explain how our perception of the city might change after a dramatic situation like this one. Other artists are rebuilding some of the collapsed buildings in the form of scale models. Some others are responding with video footage or documentary video, all in a sense of not necessarily criticizing, but making a stance into how press and media has covered some of the information. So they are trying to make us react, or as we're calling it, to perceive the whole episode in a different, more sensible and more interesting manner.
Convegno che aveva, su invito di Zuecca e della Biennale, un convegno che aveva lo scopo di confrontarsi. Ecco, io credo che questo fosse confrontarsi su un tema importante, quello del terremoto, e in questa occasione avere appunto l'opportunità di mettere assieme esperienze, a parte gli aspetti di architettura, della conservazione, dell'ingegneria, ma anche mettere assieme realtà distanti, ma alla fin fine tutte unite dal comune male, in questo caso, che può essere l'evento sismico. Noi siamo un'azienda tecnologica che ha sviluppato in tanti anni varie tecnologie nel campo del retrofitting, quindi della riqualificazione funzionale e strutturale per quanto riguarda edifici storici, strutture in calcestruzzo, infrastrutture e così via. Quindi c'è stato e c'è un grande lavoro di ricerca, e il mio intervento voleva identificare alcuni aspetti fondamentali per quanto riguarda diciamo così, non solo le tecniche che sono oggi utilizzabili, che possono essere impiegate in questo campo per la riduzione e mitigare il rischio sismico degli edifici, ma in modo particolare per testare queste strutture, testare questi materiali collegati alle strutture, diciamo, siano esse in muratura, calcestruzzo e legno, e verificarne l'efficacia sotto azioni sismiche quindi sotto principalmente a forze orizzontali.
È di grande interesse per me essere invitato a un convegno che si occupa del recente terremoto in Messico. Diciamo, i terremoti da un punto di vista degli effetti si assomigliano tutti. Come UAV, come università, non siamo a Città del Messico per aspetti legati al terremoto, ma siamo già lì con altri colleghi di progettazione architettonica per dei workshop di progettazione appunto architettonica. Quindi da questi convegni devo dire che si ha la percezione che l'ultimo terremoto arrivato sia sempre il primo. Si fa fatica, è stato detto, ad imparare, c'è una memoria corta e una memoria corta tecnica. Allora il terremoto, come poche altre attività, richiede che ci sia una risposta collegiale per evitare, diciamo, delle situazioni difficili.
Our practice as a studio began 3 years ago. We have always pursued to do an architecture that has a close relationship with the site and culture where it belongs, and also with all the materials and construction techniques of the place where we design and build, which is Mexico City so far. In this experience, for us it's very interesting because Luis Carbonell and Andres Souto invited us to think about the earthquakes with an installation. I had conversations with Alessandro Posati about his intention of creating an impact here in Venice and Italy of this great event. So when we were thinking about all this, we thought we could recreate in a way the old structural system that held the city together, which is chinampas. And we wanted to create an impact by making a structure that could make you feel that you are over the earth and below the earth, so that this sensation of having the earth fall if you shake the structure is just to spark the awareness that things fall, right? But of course they won't fall if they have like a structural system behind. So there are like a number of meanings behind our piece. Then when we decided the area of the piece, the size, we thought it'd be interesting to use the size of the construction that people are actually rebuilding their houses with government funding, which is like a 5x5 space, so that people could see how big is the homes that people are rebuilding now. They're not too big, and sometimes even up to 4 to 8 people live in this square footage. That's one of the reasons why we created this square. But in the end, it becomes a system of a repeated module, which is a strainer of sand, and you can activate it at any one place and go inside and cross it and feel it. We wanted to create an atmosphere that you could actually sense and smell.
Es estrujante que México esté viviendo justo en el aniversario de un sismo como el del 85, este sismo que nos está pegando de esta manera. Mucha gente trabajando para retirar esos escombros en esto que es un llamado de urgencia, y a ponerse a trabajar. Hay vidas que salvar.